It's January 24th, 2022. A little piece of dryness on my lip. Mom, how much did those dried shiitake mushrooms cost? That Yeah, the dried shiitake mushrooms. Whoever is paranoid over stuff like something that looks like that, it's like, dude, you're in that case. To like even hold on to something and be so concerned about nonsense. I know what they're thinking. I know how some people are like they need to talk to a therapist. That's when they need to talk to a therapist. Jeez. In one instant, one of the things that would let them know if someone would need to possibly, if they want to cause an up, they become and construct fear out of something that when they look at something like that, then they probably need to talk to someone about it. Okay, mom. Bridget, can you ask her? Can you go? Can you go ask her how much the shiitake mushrooms cost that were delivered? Were they $8? You can't. You just can't remember. I'm just wondering if she can remember. Were based off your memory. Wait, based off of what you can remember, were they under $10? Yeah, were they around $8? $6 around there? It'd be nice to have to know someone to be able to, let's say,
She just said something.
how much were they?
How much, Mom?
Okay, whatever. We'll talk about it later. It would just be nice to know someone that would be able to, let's say, harvest, like, grow them indoors, and let's say a um, well well maintained, let's say, tank of sorts. That method of doing that with and keep the humidity right, and have more culinary mushrooms taken care of and harvested, like the oyster, shiitake, cremini type of mushrooms that would normally cost around $4, at the store, and also have someone be able to, let's say, do that and also dehydrate them and make them dried with the dehydrator and stuff like that. Because in my case, it's a lot of extra for me to have to do something, but it would be nice to just be with someone that would enjoy doing that, on the side, or someone that knows someone that would, you know, who would possibly live with us and do that, be able to just like, so I wouldn't have to keep spending a lot of money. Not a lot of money. I mean, so I wouldn't have to spend that $8, where it'd be like a one-time thing. You buy the spores and then it's just they continue growing. It'd be great. There's protein in there too. You can make with rice and black beans mixed together with, let's say, the shiitake mushrooms, and even let's say a portobello mushroom alone. Usually they are grown in box. People do that in cardboard boxes. Usually they grow the portobellos that way, that method, um, or wooden boxes like a garden box. But I can just see how it would look nice in, let's say, a fishing tank type of glass container or something like that. Yeah, you can make mushroom burgers and things like that, but you could also eat the portobellos alone on the side, and they work well as a supplementary, but also like a vegan steak substitute. So I would get my vitamin D2, which is the only other source other than, let's say, a tablet vitamin to get vitamin D2 from, other than the sun. Um, would be, let's say, from mushrooms. You get that photosynthesize the sunlight just like we do into vitamin D2. And my body works well, which is quite unusual. Where, in my case, usually when I, when my body is required to synthesize, let's say, serotonin by consuming something like mandarin oranges that have vitamin B6 in it, followed by, let's say, homemade hummus that is packed with tryptophan, that where the vitamin B6 of the mandarin orange drink that I make, well, B6 booster, converts the tryptophan that I would consume in, let's say, more special hummus into serotonin. My body would do the transcoding or the translation of those two to synthesize the serotonin naturally. Where that's usually the natural phenomenon that occurs within our central nervous system to create serotonin is consuming B6 and also something with tryptophan in it, where the B6 translates the tryptophan into serotonin. And that my body reacts well in that manner, usually. Along with, let's say, instead of consuming the DHA variety of omega 3, for with the combination of omega 3 to omega 6, my body behaves better when it feels better. I get a better result or a better reaction when consuming, let's say, the EPA variety of omega 3 and omega 6, where it converts it into DHA. The body converts EPA into DHA, I believe. Whereas that that is the same thing with, let's say, when I well, oh wait, I'm wrong. Where, in opposition to all that where that natural phenomenon of the transcoding of, let's say, the tryptophan with the help of the vitamin B6 into serotonin, in addition to, let's say, the ALA, alpha linoleic acid, and the EPA get converted into DHA, and that works well with me, that natural phenomenon. The contrary to that is the vitamin D2, where if I consume, let's say, a tablet vitamin of vitamin D2, it doesn't work. My body doesn't absorb or break it down as well as, let's say, if I get it from mushrooms, which does the transcoding or translation of absorbing the ultraviolet sunlight through photosynthesis, behaving kind of like a plant, but it's a fungi, into converting into vitamin D2. in a kind of like a pre-digestive way, and my body absorbs the source from the mushrooms of vitamin D2 better than, let's say, if I were to get it from, let's say, a tablet vitamin that's from a different source. Uh, if I were to go outdoors in the sun, and if my body was to do the photosynthesis as most people and animals would translate it into vitamin D naturally, the ultraviolet light, to help absorb, let's say, the calcium into the bones. That works well too with me. But some people can't be exposed to too much sunlight, or it's not the best thing for those who may be more susceptible to sunburn and then possibly develop a skin cancer from that over time of overexposure, where actually people don't get the recommended daily intake of their vitamin D just from the sun. So it's good to, in my case, I get it from, let's say, the dried mushrooms that I would put in, I would grind it in the coffee grinder into a powder and put it in my special mocha. And then, in addition to that, being also a powerhouse of zinc, alongside with the pumpkin seeds being a great source of zinc, whereas the pumpkin seeds are not a great source of vitamin D, nor is, let's say, the edamame soy milk powder that I put in my soy milk mocha or special mocha. That macronutrient that contains is calcium, where it needs, let's say, the vitamin D2 that is only in those mushrooms that I converted into mushroom powder in the drink to have my body assimilate that calcium as the macronutrient found in the edamame soy milk powder into through my central nervous system into my bones to absorb that calcium. It needs let's say, the vitamin D2 from the mushrooms. Okay, so where another thing is, let's say, the brown rice milk powder that adds the extra B vitamins to the special mocha that I make. Where if I in the past took a B complex vitamin, my body did not didn't have the same beneficial results as I noticed when I add, let's say, the soy milk powder that has the B complex variety of B vitamins in there. Now, the peanut powder that I use is peanuts are packed with niacin or niacinamide, and that's a vitamin B3, where that's more like, if you want the B3 booster, you would eat just something with peanut butter or peanuts in there. I use peanut powder and then rehydrate it with the coconut oil, and I get a better result doing it that method than, let's say, if I buy already made peanut butter in the store. Actually, with the coconut oil, in place of, let's say, the one in the store that uses, they say, palm fruit oil. I'm not sure exactly what the exact source of that palm fruit oil is from. I think there are coconut palms. I don't know if it is implying that they use coconut oil in there, but may not be as much coconut oil when eating it in a serving size than in comparison to eating it homemade the way I do, with a whopping tablespoon of coconut oil for maybe a half of a liquid measuring cup worth of peanut powder, and then along with the cashew butter that has tryptophan in it. But the coconut oil, it helps with like the acidity in my gastrointestinal area, where I have less acid reflux after eating that, and I can digest food better. So